first time I died, there was nothing but darkness. And then suddenly, I came back. I didn't want to just be a hero that saves people. I wanted to connect with them. To change their lives for the better.
Welcome back to Binge Point, where we go beyond surface-level TV talk and really dig into what makes a series tick. Today, we're diving deep into Superman and Lois, a show that started as part of the CW's superhero universe, but ultimately became something entirely its own. A heartfelt, cinematic, and surprisingly intimate reimagining of one of the most iconic figures in all of pop culture. When the series premiered in 2021, many viewers expected another formulaic addition to the Arrowverse lineup, familiar beats, crossovers, and comic book chaos. Instead, what they got was a mature, emotionally grounded family drama that just happened to feature Superman. From the opening episode, it was clear that Superman and Lois was going to be different. The show's tone was darker, richer, and far more cinematic than what fans were used to seeing on network television. The cinematography alone, with its sweeping shots of Smallville's wheat fields and lens-flared sunsets, gave the series an almost filmic quality. The score swelled with emotional resonance, and the pacing took its time, focusing less on big battles and more on the quiet moments between characters. It felt like a show about people first and superheroes second, and that distinction is what made Superman and Lois truly special.
Jordan, what's wrong?
It's coming back.
At its core, the series is a story about balance, about what it means to juggle extraordinary responsibility with everyday life. Tyler Hoechlin's portrayal of Clark Kent is one of the most genuine and understated takes on the character we've seen in years. He plays Superman not as an untouchable god, but as a man constantly questioning if he's doing enough. As a hero, as a husband, as a father. There's a subtle exhaustion behind his eyes, the kind that comes from always being needed, from never truly resting. And yet, there's also warmth and compassion, that unshakable optimism that defines Superman at his best. Hoechlin brings that duality to life with quiet power, grounding the character in emotion rather than spectacle. Elizabeth Tulloch's Lois Lane, meanwhile, is every bit his equal, not just in spirit, but in storytelling weight. This isn't the damsel in distress Lois of old. This is a Lois Lane shaped by years of hard-hitting journalism and emotional resilience. Tulloch plays her with fierce intelligence and deep empathy, capturing a woman who refuses to be defined by her husband's powers or her own fears. She's a mother who's protective but not smothering, a professional who's relentless but not ruthless. And together, Lois and Clark form one of the most believable married couples in superhero television. A true partnership that's built on mutual respect, shared trauma, and unwavering love. What makes their dynamic so refreshing is that it's layered with realism. The show doesn't shy away from the challenges of marriage or parenthood. It shows us arguments, mistakes, miscommunication, and growth. It allows Clark and Lois to be imperfect without diminishing their heroism. Their love story isn't about grand gestures or cosmic destiny. It's about everyday devotion, about two people trying to raise their sons while saving the world in their own ways. And those sons, Jonathan and Jordan Kent, are the emotional core that makes Superman and Lois so relatable. Through them, the series explores themes of legacy, identity, and the pressure of living up to expectations. Jonathan, the athletic, charming, and grounded twin, struggles to carve out his own sense of worth in a world that already knows his father's name. Jordan, quiet, anxious, and gifted with powers, represents the pain of adolescence, magnified by superhuman weight. Both boys reflect aspects of Clark himself, his humanity, his vulnerability, and his constant push to do the right thing even when the path isn't clear. Their arcs are tender, messy, and full of the uncertainty that defines coming of age.
You guys aren't trying to hit me, right?
Setting the story in Smallville was an inspired move. It stripped away the shiny facade of Metropolis and returned Superman to his roots, to a town filled with familiar faces, old wounds, and the ghosts of his past. Smallville here isn't the idyllic farm town from the comics. It's worn down, struggling, and full of people trying to find hope in hard times. That setting gives the show a grounded, lived-in quality. It's a metaphor for the very themes the show explores, that even in the heartland of America, where hope was born, darkness can still creep in.
You're going to give me Superman's heart. I want it back!
One of the most impressive aspects of Superman and Lois is how it balances its intimate storytelling with grand superhero scale. The visual effects are some of the best the CW has ever delivered, often rivaling streaming and cinematic productions. The action sequences, from Superman's high-speed flights to devastating confrontations with villains like Tal-Rho and Ally Alston, are visually impressive, but they're never the main event. The true power of the show lies in its emotional stakes. Every fight, every loss, every triumph carries personal meaning. When Superman lifts a collapsing bridge or faces an enemy threatening his family, it's not about spectacle. It's about love, fear, and the lengths we go to protect those we care about.
You have powers? Just like you.
Over its seasons, Superman and Lois expanded beyond its family foundation to explore larger, more complex themes. Grief, anxiety, legacy, and sacrifice. Lois's battle with breast cancer in the later seasons is one of the most raw and moving arcs the show ever tackled. It humanized both her and Clark in profound ways, showing how even the strongest families can be shaken by something they can't punch or fly through. It's storytelling like this, fearless, mature, and deeply empathetic, that elevated Superman and Lois beyond the typical superhero drama.
Grandma! Grandma!
Jordan?
Grandma, please, you have to help.
What happened?
It doesn't matter. You have to save him.
Even as the series connected loosely to the Arrowverse, it always felt self-contained, like it existed in its own emotional universe. It didn't rely on endless crossovers or flashy cameos. Instead, it built a world rich with feeling, where even side characters like Lana Lang, Kyle Cushing, and Chrissy Beppo were given meaningful depth and development. Everyone in Smallville had their own struggles, their own triumphs, and their own stories to tell, creating a sense of community that mirrored real life more than comic book fantasy.
Who gave you powers?
They're coming for me.
By its final season, Superman and Lois had become more than just a superhero show. It had evolved into a family epic. It was about the cost of love, the fragility of legacy, and the power of hope. It dared to slow down, to breathe, to find beauty in the quiet moments. A father teaching his son how to control his strength. A wife reminding her husband why he's more than a symbol. A family sitting together after a long day, just trying to feel normal. These moments, not the superpowered fights, are what define the series. In an era where superheroes dominate screens but often lack soul, Superman and Lois stood as a rare exception. A story that remembered that heroism isn't just about saving the planet. It's about being present. It's about love, resilience, and showing up even when the world feels too heavy to carry. The show understood something profound about Superman's legacy, that the S on his chest doesn't just stand for strength, it stands for sacrifice, sincerity, and above all, hope. When we look back on Superman and Lois, we won't just remember the action sequences or the villains. We'll remember how it made us feel. The way it redefined what a superhero family could look like. How it balanced myth with humanity. And how it dared to show that the most powerful man in the world can still struggle, still falter, and still choose love above all else.
What's he done to you?
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.